Hello and welcome to Assets Compliance. In this demonstration, I would like to introduce you to the current version of the Assets Compliance application and walk you through the platform we've built so far. Assets Compliance has been designed around a simple idea. Every organization already has obligations, controls, evidence, actions, and reporting and ownership, but those pieces of information often exist across different systems and different teams. As a result, understanding the organization's actual control positions can become difficult, time-consuming, and heavily dependent on manual work. So Assets Compliance has built to bring those pieces together into one connected environment. Instead of asking whether a document exists or whether a control has been completed, the platform helps practitioners understand something much more important. What is the organization's current control position? Where are the strengths? Where are the weaknesses? And what requires attention. Now, everything you'll see throughout this demonstration is connected. Every obligation links to controls. Every control links to evidence. Evidence supports reporting. Actions resolve weaknesses. And intelligence highlights emerging risks. Rather than treating compliance as separate activities, Assets Compliance presents them as one connected control picture. Now, the version you're about to see is our current practitioner review environment. It has been created to allow experienced compliance professionals to explore the platform, evaluate the workflows, and help shape the product as development continues. Now, let's begin with the dashboard. After signing in, this is the very first screen every practitioner arrives at. The dashboard has been designed to answer one question immediately. How is the organization currently performing? Starting on the left-hand side, you'll see the main navigation menu. Now, every major area of the platform is accessible from here, including obligations, controls, evidence, actions, intelligence, reporting, integrations, teams, and workspace. So together with the additional review features available to practitioners, at the top of the page, we're currently viewing the senior oversight view. The intention is that different users will eventually be able to work from perspectives appropriate to their role while still using exactly the same connected compliance information. Alongside that is the global search area, which is currently under development and will eventually allow users to search obligations, controls, evidence, and connected records across the application from one place. On the right hand side, practitioners can create review notes, leave feedback throughout their evaluation, and access information about the review environment itself. The main focus of this page is the control position. So rather than presenting hundreds or thousands of compliance records individually, Assets Compliance summarizes the organization's overall position into 4 connected indicators. The first is owned. This shows how much of the compliance landscape has clear accountability assigned to individuals or teams. Ownership is fundamental because every obligation and every control should have someone responsible for maintaining it. Now, next is evidence. Having ownership alone isn't enough, so organizations also need evidence demonstrating that controls are operating as expected. This indicator shows how much of the compliance landscape is currently supported by appropriate evidence. The third indicator is exposed. This is actually my favorite one. So these are the areas that currently require attention because ownership, evidence, or supporting controls may still be incomplete. So rather than hiding weaknesses, the platform makes them visible so that they can be investigated and resolved. And so finally, we have reportable. This represents information that is currently ready for reporting and oversight, helping organizations understand what can confidently be communicated to senior management, auditors, or regulators. Each of these indicators also includes a trend, allowing practitioners to see whether the organization's position is improving or deteriorating over time. Moving further down the dashboard, we arrive at the control overview. This is one of the key ideas behind assets compliance. At the center is the organization's compliance environment, and around it sit the core components that contribute to the overall control picture. We have the obligations, controls, evidence, ownership, actions, and reporting. Rather than existing independently, every one of these areas is connected to the others. Selecting an obligation ultimately leads to its controls. Those controls lead to supporting evidence. Evidence contributes towards reporting, and actions resolve weaknesses. So evidence contributes towards reporting, and actions resolve weaknesses. So together they create a continuously connected view of organizational compliance. So to the right is the live obligations panel. This provides an overview of the current obligations together with their regulatory domain, ownership, and current status. Rather than searching through documents, practitioners can immediately see which obligations are owned, which are evidence, and which may require further attention before drilling into the detail. So finally, towards the bottom of the dashboard, we have additional indicators, or should I say to the side of the dashboard, we have additional indicators including control health and evidence freshness. These provide another level of visibility, allowing whether controls continue to operate effectively and whether supporting evidence remains current. So it actually just shows whether these controls actually operate effectively and whether supporting evidence remains current. For evidence freshness, so that's quite important. So the dashboard isn't intended to replace detailed compliance work. Its purpose is to provide one connected picture that allows practitioners and senior stakeholders to understand the organization's overall position before exploring the detail behind it. Now, let's begin that journey by opening the obligations section. The obligations page forms the starting point of the connected compliance model. Every organization operates under obligations. These may originate from legislation, regulations, standards, internal policies, or governance requirements. Assets compliance brings those obligations together into one structured environment. Across the top of the page, we immediately see summary information showing the total obligations currently in scope together with how many are owned, evidenced, exposed, and reportable. Now, this gives practitioners another quick overview before reviewing the detailed records below. The page also provides filtering options, allowing obligations to be organized by framework, regulatory domain, owner, reporting status, and other connected attributes. Now, as organizations grow, filtering becomes increasingly important because practitioners rarely review every obligation at once. Instead, they can focus on the specific area they are responsible for. So each obligation appears within the central table. Here we can see its framework, regulatory domain, assigned owner, together with the number of connected controls and evidence records supporting that very obligation. So the awesome thing is selecting an obligation immediately opens the connected detail panel on the right hand side. So we are over here. And this is where the value of connected compliance becomes much clearer. So rather than simply displaying the obligation itself, assets compliance shows everything linked to it. So you have the linked controls, linked evidence, linked actions, and the history, in this case in obligations. So it's actually its source, so the controls supporting compliance, the evidence validating those controls, any related actions, and the historical activity associated with that obligation. Instead of searching across different applications, practitioners can understand the complete context from one place. The objective isn't simply to record obligations, it's to understand how each obligation is being managed throughout the organization, whether sufficient ownership, controls, and evidence exists to support it. Once obligations have been identified, the next question naturally becomes what controls are actually being performed to satisfy those obligations. That's exactly where we're going next. So I've just clicked that as an example, so it could be related to it, but let's just start from the beginning and we can go into controls. Now, the controls page focuses on the activities that help organizations satisfy their obligations. While obligations describe what an organization is expected to achieve, controls describe what the organization is actually doing. So across the top of the page, we again begin with an overview. We can immediately see the total number of controls together with how many are currently healthy, require attention, are ineffective, or not yet been tested. Now, this provides practitioners with an immediate understanding of the health of the control environment. Now, filtering options allow controls to be organized by domain, owner, health, status, and control type. So making it easy to focus on specific operational areas. Each control within the table contains its owner, current health, control type, review frequency, and the obligation it supports. Selecting a control opens another connected detailed panel. And here we can immediately see its effectiveness, testing cycle, links, obligations, and supporting evidence, connected source systems, and any actions associated with that control. So this means practitioners don't simply know that a control exists, they can understand whether it's operating effectively, how recently it was tested, what evidence supports it, and which obligations rely upon it. So this connected approach allows organizations to move beyond maintaining lists of controls. Instead, they gain visibility into how every control contributes to the wider compliance landscape. Of course, every control ultimately depends on evidence demonstrating that it has actually been performed. So next we'll move into the evidence section where controls become supported by documented proof. So here in the evidence sections, we have so the main idea here is if obligations define what an organization is expected to achieve, the controls describe how those obligations are managed. Evidence demonstrates that those controls have actually been performed. So evidence is often scattered across document repositories, emails, spreadsheets, and operational systems. AssetsCompliance brings those records together and connects them directly to the controls and obligations they support. Across the top of the page, we begin with a summary of the evidence landscape. We can immediately see the total number of evidence records together with how many are current, aging, stale, or missing validation. Rather than discovering outdated documentation during an audit, practitioners can identify it much earlier and take action before it becomes a problem. Below the summary are filtering options, allowing evidence to be organized by type, owner, freshness, validation status, and source system. As organizations accumulate thousands of supporting records, being able to quickly locate the right evidence becomes increasingly important. The main table lists each evidence record together with its owners, freshness, validation status, and the number of connected controls it supports. Selecting a record opens the connected detail panel on the right. Here we can see the evidence itself together with its current freshness, validation status, source system, lineage, links controls, links obligations, and review history. This means evidence no longer exists as an isolated document. Instead, it forms part of the connected control picture, allowing practitioners to immediately understand exactly why it exists and what it supports. Evidence provides confidence, but when weaknesses are identified, organizations need a structured way to resolve them. That's where actions come in. So we still have an actions linked element here that we can use as an example, and it brilliantly brings up the user and case that it's linked to. So beautiful. Now we go back to actions. Actions represent the work required to maintain or improve the organization's control position whenever a weakness is identified, whether through a review, an audit, testing, or day-to-day operations. An action can be created to ensure that issue is tracked through to completion. Across the top of the page, we can immediately see the current action summary. This includes the total number of actions together with how many are open, how many are due soon, overdue, and escalated. Rather than relying on separate task lists, remediation activities become part of the connected compliance environment. Filtering allows actions to be organized by owner, priority, status, due date, and related framework. Each action includes information such as its owner, related compliance item, priority, current status, and target completion date. So with that, selecting an action opens the connected detail panel. Here we can review the action description, ownership, due date, escalation status, progress, related obligations, related controls, and any supporting references, because actions remain so that's the area here that we're talking about. So actions remain connected to the underlying compliance records. Practitioners never lose sight of why an action exists or what impacts completing it will have. Completing actions strengthens the organization's control position, but organizations also need visibility into emerging issues before they become larger problems. That's exactly what the intelligence section has been designed to provide. So I think here is where the linkage kind of stops in order to go further down here in the simplest way to explain it. So I don't think we have intelligence here yet since we reached actions. So that's awesome, and that's something to note in your review environment as well. So I think we stop here at actions. And then we can go into intelligence and reporting. So here, the intelligence section brings together signals that help practitioners identify areas requiring attention. Rather than waiting until a formal review or audit identifies a problem, AssetsCompliance services indicators that suggest something may be changing within the control environment. Across the top of the page, we can see a summary of the current intelligence signals. These include the total number of signals together with high priority items, emerging exposure, evidence weaknesses, and regulatory changes. The purpose isn't to replace professional judgment. Instead, it's to help practitioners focus their attention where it may be needed most. Signals can be filtered by type, severity, domain, owner, status, and source. Each signal provides information about the issue identified together with its severity, related records, and responsible owner. Selecting a signal opens the connected detail panel. Here we can see the signal itself, its severity, confidence, recommended response, affected obligations, and the records that contributed to that signal. For example, an emerging exposure may be linked to declining evidence quality, ineffective controls, or overdue actions. Rather than reviewing these separately, The intelligence page brings them together into a single view that helps practitioners understand why attention is required. The goal is to move from simply recording compliance information towards providing meaningful compliance intelligence. Of course, all of this information ultimately needs to be communicated to different audiences. That's where reporting becomes important. So we can now move on to reporting, which again, I believe it's still not linked here, but so we have controls, actions, and history. It might be in reporting, no, so intelligence. So that's cool, that's great. So it kind of stops at actions, and then you have intelligence, which I think it's free balance, and obviously reporting, whether everything's all connected. So the reporting section brings together the connected information throughout the platform into structured reports suitable for different audiences. Rather than manually collecting information from multiple spreadsheets or systems, AssetsCompliance prepares reporting directly from the connected compliance picture. Across the top of the page, we begin with a summary showing available reports. Reports due soon, reports currently in preparation, reports ready for review, and any data quality issues. The awesome thing is that or should I say any data quality issues that may require attention before publication. So below this, these are different. This is a different reporting views, including the report catalog, reporting calendar, and recent reporting runs. Practitioners can organize reports using filters such as audience, readiness, owner, and current status. Each report includes information such as its intended audience, reporting frequency, next schedule date, readiness, and ownership. Now, selecting a report opens the connected connected detail panel. Here we can review the report overview together with its audience, reporting period, readiness, owner, last generated date, and the connected obligations, controls, evidence, and actions contributing to that report. Now, rather than building reports manually every reporting cycle, the intention is that reporting becomes a natural outcome of maintaining a connected compliance environment. So it's rather than building reports manually every reporting cycle, the intention is that reporting becomes a natural outcome of maintaining a connected compliance environment. So whether reporting to senior leadership, internal committees, auditors, or regulators, practitioners have a clearer understanding of the information supporting each report. So far we've explored how obligations, controls, evidence, actions, intelligence, and reporting work together. In the next part of the demonstration, we'll look at how AssetsCompliance connects with external systems, manages teams and workspaces, supports additional review capabilities, and provides organizations with pathways towards broader implementation. Let's move on to integrations. Now, no organization operates compliance from a single application. Information already exists within onboarding systems, transaction monitoring platforms, case management solutions, evidence repositories, reporting tools, and the list goes on, and many other operational systems. AssetsCompliance has been designed to sit above those systems, bringing the information together into one connected control picture. Across the top of the page, we can immediately see an overview of the connected ecosystem. Each connected system can be filtered by category, status, freshness, owner, and data type. Now, the main table provides an overview of every connected system, showing its current status, data freshness, latest synchronization time, available records, and assigned owner. Selecting an integration opens the connected detail panel. Here we can review information such as its current health, freshness, validation status, ownership, lineage, and the types of compliance information being supplied. The purpose of integration applications is not simply to connect systems, it's to ensure that information generated elsewhere contributes directly to the organization's control position without requiring practitioners to manually copy data between applications. Once information is connected, the next question becomes who is responsible for managing it. That's where Teams comes in. So, with Teams, the Teams section provides visibility across the people responsible for maintaining the organization's compliance landscape. Compliance isn't managed by one individual. It involves multiple departments, different responsibilities, and shared accountability across the organization. Across the top of the page, we begin with a summary showing the total number of teams, healthy teams, teams requiring attention, cross-team ownership, and any unassigned work. So that's this area here, which is awesome. Now, this immediately highlights where responsibilities may need further review. The page also allows practitioners to switch between views, including teams, ownership, capacity, and collaboration. Each perspective provides a different way of understanding how work is distributed across the organization. Within the main table, we can review each team together with its members, obligations, controls, evidence, actions, overall health, and current workload. So we even have the workload feature in here integrated, which is awesome. So this allows practitioners to identify not only whether work has been assigned, but whether capacity remains appropriate across the organization. The intention is to move beyond simple ownership by helping organizations understand whether responsibility has been distributed effectively. Ultimately, people perform compliance work inside workspaces. Now, let's look at how Assets Compliance supports the workspaces. Awesome. So the workspace provides practitioners with their own operational environment within the platform. Rather than losing context every time they move between different reviews or projects, Workspaces allows practitioners to organize their compliance activities in one place. At the top of the page, we can see the currently active workspace together with options to access the demonstration guide, configure workspace settings, and invite additional reviewers. Now, below are the different workspaces currently available for practitioners. So available to the practitioner. So each workspace preserves its own context, allowing users to return to previous reviews without losing progress. The Workspace Home provides guided walkthroughs to help practitioners begin reviewing different parts of the platform. For example, users can review the control position, inspect priority exposure, trace an obligation from beginning to end, or review overall control health. Alongside these walkthroughs is the Workspace Apps panel. Now, this area provides access to applications that support compliance work within the workspace. Some applications are currently available, while others demonstrate how additional capabilities may be connected in future. Like that of CRM, for example. The workspace has been designed to become the practitioner's daily working environment rather than simply another page within the application. Beyond the core platform, Assets Compliance also allows organizations to unlock additional capabilities. So here with Instant Unlock section, it demonstrates how organizations can expand their review experience. So rather than interrupting the evaluation process, additional capabilities can be made available directly from within the application. Examples include extended review periods, adding reviewer seats, unlocking additional workflows, and enabling practitioner pilot environments. Now, the objective is to provide organizations with a simple path for expanding their evaluation without requiring a separate engagement process. Within this practitioner review environment, these options demonstrate how future commercial capabilities may be presented while maintaining the same consistent user experience throughout the platform. Now, We'll move on to scoped requests. Some organizations will require more than the standard review environment. The scope requests section provides a structured way for practitioners to express interest in broader engagement. Requests may include organization pilots, implementation discussions, additional integrations, custom workflows, or sector-specific demonstrations. Rather than relying on emails or informal conversations, requests can be submitted directly through a guided workflow within the application. This creates a straightforward transition from product evaluation towards real implementation discussions while keeping everything organized within the platform itself. So with that, we will finally go to the final section. The final section is actually the review environment. This is where our practitioner review program comes together. The review environment has been designed specifically for experienced compliance professionals who are helping us evaluate assets compliance before wider release. Rather than simply asking users whether they like the interface, we've structured the review around a guided journey through the platform. Practitioners work through each stage of the application, recording observations, identifying improvements, and providing feedback based on real compliance experience. So throughout the platform, reviewers can also create notes and submit feedback as they explore different areas. This allows us to capture insights while practitioners are working rather than relying on feedback after the review has finished. So the purpose of this program is not simply to test software, it's to build a platform alongside people who will ultimately use it. Every piece of feedback helps shape future development, ensuring that assets compliance continues to evolve around the real operational needs rather than assumptions. Thank you for taking the time to explore the current version of assets compliance. What you've seen today represents the foundation of a connected compliance intelligence platform designed to bring obligations, controls, evidence, ownership, actions, reporting, and operational insights into one connected control picture. Development continues, and we're looking forward to building the next stage of the platform together with our practitioner community. Thank you so much, guys.